Okay, so a down and out stuntman must find the missing star of his ex girlfriend's blockbuster film. So that's the synopsis taken from IMDb. Um, brief, and so was the effort of the Fall Guy. Now, I was really, I mean, I can't lie, I was really, really looking forward to Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt on screen together, like, packing a punch. Um, quick side note, Emily Blunt as an actress, she's just brilliant with her comedic sort of improvisation and delivery. I've noticed this, that you can see it in most of her films, like the 5 Year Engagement from many years ago, or Jungle Cruise. She's got that sort of deep, if slightly glazed stare, that when she looks at her co-star as she receives dialogue and hits back with something just as like immediately witty. Most of the time with Emily, I can't tell if it's ad-libbed or actually written. So she's that good at improvisation that, yeah, she's got a knack for it. Basically, the only downside is sometimes it, especially during the Fall Guy, it looks as though she's ready to corpse and start laughing halfway through delivery. So it's that kind of, she looks as though she's very easy to like snap out of character. Second, the director yells cut, she doesn't even need to snap out of it because she already was half out of it anyway. Excuse me. The Fall Guy is no exception. So up against Ryan Gosling, the chemistry between the two of them is faultless. I could sense they had a real laugh when filming, but was her natural ability to improvise also her downfall? So right, I'll come on to that. The concept is simple. Ryan Gosling plays a successful stuntman, Colt, whose career is put on hold after a horrific injury on the job. And then he's brought back a year later onto the movie scene by a producer of a new sci-fi epic, where he then reunites with former love interest and director of this sci-fi epic, Jodie, played by Emily Blunt. So it transpires that producer Gail, played by very erratically by Hannah Waddingham, producer Gail, then she sends Colt on a mission, basically to locate the missing movie star. Basically, so Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's the main man of the movie that they're trying to produce, and she sends him out to find him because he's got involved with a dangerous gang, sort of druggies, sniffs and all the rest of it. So yeah, what she's actually doing is using Colt as the Fall Guy to take the heat for a murder that's happened. Now, would I watch this again? Absolutely not. Definitely not. Unless I was like hungover or something and feeling a bit sloppy, it's just too messy at points, mainly during the final scene. It's you just have like so much shit going on. There's like there's well, not just, it's ironic because it's a film within a film. So you've got the backing cast and extras. You've got people walking about in sort of alien costumes. You've got the crew who are actually taking part in the filming of the film. You've got the main stars, the co-stars, then you've got explosions, vehicles, bang, 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 left, right, and centre. There's just shit hitting the fan and going splat everywhere. You've got shit flying at you, and it's just absolute carnage. I really didn't enjoy that. It was tedious, basically, towards the end. Yes, the Fall Guy has its funny moments. It even has its romantic moments, but otherwise, it's just one of those action-packed fuck ups that it tries to pack way too much into its screen time. So yeah, on a nice hangover, I might stomach it again, but otherwise it just wasn't for me. And what I anticipated to come of it well, I was right, basically. I mean, it was, yeah, what I anticipated happened. So, right, the positives. So, amazingly, there are positives. The biggest win for the Fall Guy is how it's like an epic film within an epic film. So, you know, you do have the drama and the speeding vehicles and a hell of a lot of stunts, obviously. You've got familiar names delivering non-stop action. I mean, it's a blast. If you're into your action movies, from the get-go, you've got Ryan Gosling's character, Colt. He's sort of harnessed in to these straps, and he's hanging like real fucking high, real up high, before his accident happens. So so from the off, you've got stunts happening, and you've got busy film producers darting about. It's it's all very busy and productive, I suppose, in a sort of making a movie sort of way. But I honestly started to get bored less than halfway in. There's just something about it that it seemed slow. It seemed to slow down a lot as well. So yeah, if you're into your action films and explosions, then it's the film for you. Perfect, brilliant. Wasn't for me, might be for you. So another positive, Hannah Waddingham, who played the film producer, she had me howling with laughter at points. She's like, it's her whole the London accent and her sort of London film producer attitude lent real nicely to the, like, she even talks like that halfway through. There's like at the end, there's a helicopter fight scene, and she's like, get in a fucking suitcase, you numpty, and she's just excuse me. Clearly I can't raise my voice without choking myself as well. So she's like, fucking, what are you doing, you fucking numpty? Get in the fucking chopper. And she's literally screaming. She had me hooting with laughter. And it's probably nothing unusual for her. It's her neck of the woods. She's from where I'm from, Sutton. I lived in Sutton. And it's relevant, isn't it? So yeah, she's kind of, she must have adopted that whole South London attitude, because she is great. She is good. Miscast, possibly, because of a lot of other things you see her in are quite fantastical and quite epic, very princessy or witchy. Here she's constantly chugging on coke for some reason, and she's just very erratic and scatty and sort of, like, up against Emily. It's a good pairing, but she's slightly miscast, I think. So yeah, you fucking numpty. I love that. I loved it. So yeah, and again, that was another thing I jotted down. The helicopter fight scene at the end, it did keep me engaged, because Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's brilliant. Like, his character brings a whole new level of sarcasm and sort of dry banter. He seems to have gone for, like, really, he's really steadfast, isn't he? He seems to have gone up the career ladder right nicely. He's sort of like, anything he plays now, he's very like steely and carries it off just faultlessly. I love him. And that's a bit of a change from Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging from years ago. That's fucking awful, that film. My God. I think that was actually one of his if not his first film. So right. Although slightly tacky and messy, The Fall Guy incorporates some proper dry, like, one-liners, banter, and cheap gags between all number of characters throughout. And they touch on everyday things. Now, think of like Bridesmaids, or other Paul Feig style films. So what that did for, and again, the 5-year engagement, Emily Blunt's one back in 2012. So what that did for sort of touching on, like, everyday concepts, like observational humor. It does a lot of that, where characters come out with totally random things, but they actually have a point because you experience it daily or weekly, monthly, whatever. And it's that kind of like, you know, that observational wit that most stand-up comedians deliver as well. So yeah, I appreciated that about this film. What is wrong with my throat? I've got no water left. Fuck. But yeah, but that was good. That was good. That was good. Okay, so right, on to the negatives, because I haven't mentioned any of those yet. Right. As mentioned, it's messy. It's a complete shit storm. It's a shit sandstorm, actually, given their set. And each scene throughout the Fall Guy, each scene jumps into the next, to the next, to the next. It's such speed that you're having to like sort of get to know new characters really quickly. You're having to sort of, as a viewer, you're having to adapt to like the first main scene, for example. Oh my god, there's like so where there's people fucking everywhere, but not, that sounded a bit weird. They're not fucking everywhere. There's people fucking everywhere. So yeah, you've got Jodie confronting Colt on the set during one of his first scenes, and she's confronting him about how he ditched her a year ago. And this basically, the pair of them are surrounded by sci-fi aliens and other creatures, actors, extras, crew, staff, production, stunt people. It's like, I mean, you know, Emily Blunt's marvelous improvisation skills work wonders here. But God, it's an absolute, it's just fucking, it's a mess, basically. It's just like one of those ones. It doesn't keep it minimal. So, right. And what I mean by the introduction, like you're having to adapt to new and different characters all the time, is like later on, Colt tracks down this lady who can help on his mission. And again, I found that just so just tedious. It kind of splits into like an 80s, like a 1980s sort of, like a 1980s copper flick. So yeah, he tracks down this woman who can help. Cue her and her ball busting, literally, dog, because the dog keeps going for people's bollocks space for some reason. And yeah, he seems to have a penchant for gnashing on testicles. So you've got her and the dog, which you would think, like, you know, but as soon as, by the time they've made their appearance, you'd think they'd be like, you could warm to them. They're whisked off, and then bang, suddenly in come like two new characters. So suddenly this scene erupts into a high octane truck chase, which is very, again, if you're a fan of action films, you'll probably love it. It's like very speedy, like where Colt's trapped in like this skip and it's upturned, there's like sparks flying everywhere. It's very Tom Cruise, basically. And yeah, you've got, so he tracks down this woman and her dog. Then this, bang, erupts into this this chase where two funny bad guys, you know, the funny bad guys they're completely capable and very talented of taking Colt down like that, but they can't for some reason. Like, they're armed with fucking blades and guns, they've got shit strapped to them, but they just can't seem to like put him down. They're the two funny bad guys. So these two are introduced. They end up then, they come into it. They're like smashed and punched up. They end up rolling into the road as this scene then rolls into another scene where Jodie's in a bar on karaoke. It's really random. It's like, again, this is another, I'm sort of bouncing between positive and negatives here, but this was one of my negatives where they were just really random. Like, you go from a Tom Cruise style high octane skip chase to then Emily Blunt doing karaoke in a bar. And it's like, what the fuck? So it takes the like dynamics right down, just as they've hit the peak. So yeah, you've got Jodie drowning her sorrows in a bar. And she's like, take a look at me now. there's this, this whole why did I just let you walk away? And it's very eye roll. It's so cringe because obviously, why did she just let Colt walk away? Oh God. So yeah, right, okay. So it's one of those films, basically. I won't elaborate. But yeah, in this scene, you're then faced with a bunch of her colleagues that you've never heard from so far. Each of them throwing wisecracks into the mix. So there's funny dialogue between them. Gone. Rolls into the next scene. Tom then appears. Tom, Aaron Taylor Johnson, he then appears with his henchmen during this darkly funny scene that plays out between him and Colt. And the scene then actually shifts into absolute carnage when he's trying to get Tom, when Colt's trying to get Tom to admit to a crime. It's just literally. I'm going to have to take a breath here because this is how the Fall Guy made me feel when watching it. It was just an unnecessary headache. So, right. It's everything everywhere all at once. Like the film. It's just an absolute shitstorm. Seriously. So, yeah. Right, so that's what you're dealing with here. I'm going to round this up because the Fall Guy really doesn't warrant my full attention, and I need to get the dinner on. Me broccoli's waiting to be steamed, and I'll have soggy sprouts. Right, so what I've got here, the character. Yeah, so you've got. I'm just checking my little notes that I jotted down. It's everything, everywhere, all at once. Film set explosions, make the backdrop for almost every single character in the film. What did I mean by that? Yeah, okay, right. So yeah, you've got Aaron, Ryan, Teresa Palmer, Emily Blunt, Hannah, all darting about, all just it's just a fucking free for all, trying to whip up absolute chaos. And again, I exited the Fall Guy just needing to. I felt like I needed to pop some paracetamol. It's a high octane blur of sandy shit that I simply just I started to glaze over. Everything was happening so much all at once that I was just in the end I was just like, right, okay. I knew what was going on, but do you know what I mean? You just daze and phase out. It was like that. I just let it play out without giving a total shite about any of the characters or their outcomes. So yeah, that was it. That's it for me. That's the Fall Guy. That's all I'm willing to discuss. Like I say, there were positives and negatives there. So yeah, the absolute the downfall of the Fall Guy mainly is just how much carnage is just it's messy. And and how the introduction of various characters, they're in and out. It's like I honestly thought there was an audition going on at one point, which is ironic. So yeah, you got your downsides, but then you've got your positives. You've got the observational everyday humor, Emily Blunt's brilliant improvisation skills, and it's a whole stream of beloved cast. Hannah, Emily, Aaron. Is it Aaron or Aaron? So yeah, and the rest of them. So it's worth a going over if you've got absolutely nothing else to do and a lot of time. Because from what I remember, the Fall Guy was incredibly long. It just it just went on for ages. I mean, it wasn't Titanic as such, but yeah. Okay, that's it. That's your Fall Guy.